So let me tell you about how a plumber is better at business than all of us. Not any plumber. I'm going to tell you about a story about a specific plumber. So there's a guy. He is having a party on a Friday night. And it's about 10 o'clock and a pipe burst while he's having a party. And he's like, holy crap, I need to get a plumber, but it's Friday night at 10 o'clock. Where am I going to find one? Google's quick, finds this one guy that does emergency, calls him, the guy comes, he fixes the thing in about 20 minutes, party resumes, lifesaver. And the guy throwing the party, he was so grateful for this plumber. And the plumber came back to him a couple days later and said, hey, I don't pay a lot. I don't really do much advertising. Most of how I get business is through referrals. And I thought about the words you said to me, how grateful you were that I came and I kind of saved your party and helped you out a lot. So what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, are you part of a community, any kind of organization? He's like, well, not that I can think of. He goes, well, somebody is. Think about it. And he goes, okay, what? Or everybody is. Think about it. He says, well, actually, I'm a member of this speaker organization, about 300 members. He goes, okay, would it be okay with you if I'll pay for everything? Could I use your letterhead and your endorsement and send a letter to those 300 people, telling and put in what you said about me and ask them and just let them know if they need some plumbing, that I'd be glad to help them. And he's like, yeah, sure, of course. And so the plumber, his name's Al, he put the whole thing together. And he he sent a letter to all those people. And it was in, the guy throwing the party, we'll call him Dan. It was in Dan's letterhead. It was a real stamped envelope, a real handwritten letter, or handwritten envelope. And so the thing is when these letters went out to these 300 people, it was coming from Dan. So they're like, oh, this guy I know sent me a letter. And so those letters are going to get opened. So they basically probably all got opened. And what the plumber ended up doing after this, and I'll tell you the numbers of what his results were, but I want to walk you through the process because that's what's really going to help you here. By the way, to help you with some amazing marketing, go to rainmaking.com, REIGN making.com. I got more content on there, and as long as you got a business with some momentum, doing at least $250,000 a year, give me a free call, and I'll help you come up with some methods, some ideas to help you get your momentum going even more, make more revenue, get more of your ideal clients, stuff like that. No pressure, no hard selling or anything. I'll definitely give you something of value that you can use. It'll be very worth your time. Okay, back to the story. So let's say that I got one of the letters. So I get a letter from Al the plumber, from being endorsed by Dan, the guy throwing the party, the guy that apparently I would be in the speaker organization with. Now, sorry about the train. Now I open the letter and it tells me all that, like I told you in the letter. It said, hey, the other night I helped Dan with this thing and he was very happy. That's what he said about me. If you have any plumbing issues, please give me a call. And actually, since you are a friend of Dan's, if you live in a house that is 10 or more years old, there's about 100 different things that could be going wrong in your plumbing in your house. And since you're a friend of Dan's, I'll offer you a free plumbing system audit. Just give me a call. I normally charge this much for it, but I'll give you a free one. Give me a call. And some people would probably give him a call. I'll give you the exact numbers again after I'm done telling the story. But you know what? Me, say I got the letter. I'm like, well, I don't really have any plumbing stuff going on. So, I'm not going to do it. I got other things to do. Well, you know what? 10 days later, I get another letter from the plumber saying, hey, I offered you that plumbing thing, the audit. I really implore you to take advantage of this because let me tell you a story of some things that can go wrong if you don't have these things taken care of. They're to be taken seriously because it can damage, if not ruin, your property sometimes. And then he included a case study of this elderly couple who had a little drip coming from their faucet. And what they did is they just put a little Tupperware bowl under it because they were going away for the weekend. It was just a very, very small drip. But when they came back, the picture showed the house was basically completely flooded, basically sitting in a small pond, you know? And so that's like, wow, that's really what can happen. He said, seriously, you never know what's going on. It's a free audit. Let me come in and check this out to make sure none of this stuff is going on. And if something is, I can help you fix it up really quick and you don't have to go through any pain. Okay, and I'm like, well, that's compelling, but I still don't call Dan, or Al, the plumber. But I'm going around the house and I'm thinking, you know, is that water in that pipe running right? It sounds kind of funny. I'm becoming more attentive to the piping and plumbing in my house. I am. That's what you would do too. That's what everyone does. They're going to start hearing things big. I wonder. And then another 10 days later, Dan sends me another letter. Al sends me another letter, Al the plumber. And it says, hey, seriously, take me up on this audit. It's free. This is the last chance I'm going to be able to offer it to you. Not last chance, but if you don't take advantage of it now, I may have to, when you do actually want it, I may have to put you on like a 100-day waiting list because it's just me and 3 other people and we're very busy. But since you're a friend of Dan's, that's why I'm making this special offer to you. Please, let me come in and do this audit for you, make sure nothing's wrong, and if something is, we can take care of it very quickly. Please get a hold of me. Well, this time I'm calling Al. Sure, call him in because I don't want to go on a 100-day wait list. He's kind of brought this to my attention about how serious this stuff is, about, you know, there's no obligation here, there's no cost, there's no risk. Come in, take a look. Seems nice. He's been educational, he's been informative, and Dan said he's amazing. So you know what? Let me bring this Al guy in. So, and now here's what Al does. He's a real person. He comes in and he says, when he shows up, he doesn't, you think he's going to show up looking like a plumber, right? Like what you think of as a plumber. When he shows up in a 3-piece suit. Huh. That's surprising, right? Because he shows up with his best. That's amazing. So he goes, you know what? Hey, I'll be, I'm Matt, so I'm Matt. Hey, Matt, thanks for taking advantage of this audit. It'll take me about 20 minutes to go around here. Here's a DVD for you to watch while I'm doing that. You'll be really glad you watched it. So I put in the DVD, and it's telling me about this, about all the injuries that happen from people by their bathtubs, and how bath mats slip and they're not this, and they're not a great solution. But there's this actual clear thing that he can do. It's just a one-time application. It's clear. You don't see mats or anything like that. And it's, you know, get rid of all stickiness and dramatically decrease the risk of slipping and falling and getting injured. So that video lasts about 20 minutes. And then when it's done, there's Al beside me saying, all right, well, good news. 96 of the things that can go wrong, those are all good, but there are a few things. And if you want, I can fix those for you real quick. Also, I noticed you watched the video. I see you have 5 bathrooms. Would you like me to just do the master bathroom, or would you like me to safeguard all of them? And of course, I'm going to go, well, you know, go safeguard all of them, because that's true. I don't have to get mats. I don't have to worry about slipping. I don't have to worry about anything else slipping and falling. And you found these 4 things. Well, let's fix those up. Good. I got 96 that are good, but 4 need to be fixed. Yeah, go ahead. So Al goes out to his car, changes into his work clothes, comes in, fixes his stuff about 30 minutes, and then leaves. So here's what Al did. By the way, so here's what Al did. He worked on just referrals, and he really did it well in a really good marketing system. He worked with someone, did an amazing job, and then he went back to them and said, hey, could I get some referrals from you? What kind of a community are you involved in? I would like to help them too. So he really impresses somebody before he asks for any kind of referral, right? And Dan was really impressed. Obviously, he saved Dan's party, saved him all kinds of stress, kind of a lifesaver. And he was extremely good with what he did. So he gets all that letterhead. He sends it out to those 300 people. He was very specific about picking his market. It is a very high probability market. And I'll tell you the numbers that he got from this. It's going to blow your mind. So he sent out 300 letters, And, well, to 300 people, he sent a series of 3 letters offering them the free audit and getting Dan's endorsement, of which, in the way he did it, basically all those letters got open, especially all of the first one, because it looked like it was coming from Dan, the person that we all know, the 300 people all know. And then he does some follow-up letters, giving them more reason to take action now and educating them and building that relationship. And then he finally gets in and he does the audit. He finds a few things, he fixes them up, and there you go, made some money. So he sent out, he contacted 300 very specific people, and I'll tell you the numbers in a second. If this is making any sense to you and you're like, I wonder if I could do something like this, go to rainmaking.com, REIGN making.com, rainmaking.com. You can set up a call with me. As long as you have a actual operating business right now and doing at least $250,000 a year, and we'll come up with some ways for you to do this. And you can completely go do it on your own. Seriously, I'll help you come up with it. You can go do it on your own if you want. If you want me to help you, as long as we think we're a good fit, I'll help you. But seriously, no obligation, nothing like that. Now, Al, 300 people he contacted in a very specific, organized manner. Guess how many he got to go into their homes and do the audit out of 300? Well, first of all, what would be successful, right? When Al came to, say, my home, say he charged $400 for the bath matting and the other little 4 things he had to do with the plumbing. Say he charged $400, pretty reasonable price. How much do you think it cost him to send out those letters? We'll say it cost him $500 tops to send out those letters. So right there, me, one person, he almost made his money back. So how many people, say an average of $400 a person, which the average is probably higher than that, how many people out of those 300 does he need to do business with at $400 a pop? I'd say 3. 3 would bring him $1,200. If he got $1,200 back on a $500 investment, that'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? He went into 72 homes out of those 300. 72 people called him to come in and do the audit. Now, how many of those people you think he found things with? Most of them. Guess how many took him up on him fixing that stuff? Most of them. I guarantee you, from that one little $500 mailing but he got so specific with the 300 people and did it in such an organized manner that it came from a referred source. And any business can do this. Any business can do this. He probably made 50 grand. 50 grand. Just by being very specific with what he's doing. And then you know what? And then after he does the audit, even if he doesn't do the audit, by the way, those 300 people, guess what happens? He starts sending them his newsletter, the Plumber's Helper, I think it's called. He starts sending him a newsletter every month. He just stays in contact with them. How much does it cost to send that newsletter? A couple bucks, and he's got to make one every month. Big deal. They're not big, long books. They're just a few pages. Probably types it up in a couple hours in a month. And just stays in contact, keeps building the relationship, keeps helping people, keeps being helpful. But anyways, if any of that makes sense to you, or you're like, hey, maybe I want to try something like this, go to rainmaking.com, REIGN making.com, and we can talk. Like, really, I can help you come up with this. Doesn't matter what business you're in. You can go completely implement it yourself. And if you want me to help, I'll help too. But go over to rainmaking.com, watch some content, maybe make a call with me, and think about what Al the Plumber did. You can do that in your business. You absolutely can. And he does things in a different way. You can do things if you can do things in a very organized, directed, intelligent manner, your results are astounding. Have a good one.